Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. On this episode, I'm showing some love to the NCAA men and women's basketball champions, and I'm talking about Baylor University and Stanford University. And right now, I'm wearing a Stanford Comic Hero tee, and to go along with it, the Stanford hat. And I want to congratulate all the players on Stanford, the coach Tara Vanderveer, all the other coaches on there, and also the University of Stanford as a whole, and then all its alumni, students, and fans. One awesome thing about Stanford University is that it has its own zip code. I can't really think of any colleges in the world who have their own zip code, but Stanford University does, and that's what makes it so awesome. And then here's another thing. On the Stanford women's basketball team, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson's sister Anna plays for Stanford. So congratulations to her, congratulations to her family, and go Stanford. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked, true or false, Stan Lee founded Marvel Comics? Well, the correct answer is false. It was actually Martin Goodman who founded Marvel Comics in 1939. Well, the answer is false, and 29 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, the name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Kevin Kugler from Cornwall, Ontario. So congratulations, Kevin. You're in a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Teen Titans question. Which founding Teen Titans once had a heroin addiction? Now, here's one hint. I'm only going to give this one hint. I'm not going to give another one because it'd be a dead giveaway. And then also, it's also answering the question to an extent. This founding member of the Teen Titans is also the ward of Green Arrow. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, right now would usually be the lead into the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown segment. Unfortunately, I couldn't come up with any, and then I haven't been getting any from fans. You have to remember, this is one of the two fan-driven segments on the show, the other one being the free tee giveaway. So if y'all have any fight requests, please, by all means, come on with them. I mean, I'm going to come up with some of my own. I mean, this past week I've kind of had a bit of a writer's block. But if y'all have any, bring them on. All right, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! Before I go on with the Comically Speaking segment, I want to show some love to the Baylor men's basketball team. They won the NCAA men's basketball tournament last week, and congratulations to Scott Drew, all the players and all the coaches. Two of the players, and I'm just saying this because I'm a Louisiana boy, two of them are from Lake Charles and Reserve. And then also, congratulations to all the students, faculty, and alumni and fans. Sick 'em Bears. All right, now there are two things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking. Here's the first. After an 8-year stint with DC Comics, artist John Romita Jr. is returning to where it all began, Marvel Comics. Now, John is is the son of another legendary comics artist. I'm talking about the late great John Romita Sr., who has penciled books like The Amazing Spider-Man and several others. And then John began his career a little over 40 years ago. I mean, he's penciled books like The Avengers, Spider-Man, Daredevil. I mean, you name it, he's probably penciled it. But then back in 2013, he signed a deal with DC Comics to become an artist, and he's penciled books like Justice League, Batman, and Superman. And it's so, and you know, he had a great career there. But it's good, you know, it's always good to go back to where it all began, and this is what he's doing, and I can't wait to read some books where he does some artwork. But welcome home, sir. That's all I have to say. All right, now the second thing is that actor Jordan Fisher has been casted as both Bart Allen and Impulse on the Flash TV series that's currently airing on the CW. Now, he's going to make a cameo appearance later this season, but then next season he's going to be on there full time as both Bart Allen and Impulse. Here's the thing. In the comics, Impulse is the Flash's grandson. But the way they're going to tell it on the Flash TV series is that he's going to be Barry and Iris's son. I honestly can't wait to see how this works. I think this is going to work. I mean, it worked when Nora Allen, or XS, was the daughter of both Barry and Iris, and I can't wait to see how this is going to work out. Of course, in the comics, XS is further down the line in the Flash family tree. Now, I understand how this may make some of y'all cringe, but the Flash TV series, for the most part, since the premiere in 2014, has not disappointed, and I can't wait to read I can't wait to watch, well, read the comic too, but I can't wait to watch what's to come on the small screen. And wow, we finally get to see Impulse. I mean, we met Kid Flash, we met Godspeed, we met XS, and now it's time for Impulse. Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, I just want to go ahead and throw this out there, but in the comics, Barry and Iris's children are Don and Dawn Allen, also known as the Tornado Twins. And Don Allen is the father of Impulse in the comics. Just throwing that in there. And y'all may need to pay attention, because somewhere down the line, I may make that a free tea question of the week. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 63. Avengers number 44. Batman number 107. Crime Syndicate number 2. Excalibur number 20. Love this book. Far Sector number 11. Really excited about this book. Green Lantern number 1. The Immortal Hulk number 45. This book was the one that I talked about in the Comically Speaking segment last week. King in Black number 5. Marauders number 19. The next Batman Second Son number 1. And finally, Venom number 34. Alright, that's 12, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,560. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which founding Teen Titan once had a heroin addiction? Now, I'm only going to give one hint because any other hint that I give is answering the question. This founding Teen Titan is also the ward, or the first ward rather, of Green Arrow. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Kevin Kugler from Cornwall, Ontario, with a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, on next week's episode of the show, I'm going to raise awareness of oral cancer. Now, a lot of folks might not have heard of it, but it is very common. There are more than 200,000 cases per year in America, and I'm going to show some love to all the men and women that are currently fighting it, all the men and women that have beaten it, and I'm going to pay tribute to all the men and women that have lost their lives to it. So, watch that show. Alright, I want to share with y'all something that Baylor men's basketball coach Scott Drew had said when he was formally introduced as the head coach of Baylor back in 2003. He had said this, and I quote, "I didn't come to Baylor to win the NCAA tournament, or to go to the NCAA tournament rather. I came to Baylor to win games at the NCAA tournament and to win the men's basketball championship," end quote. Now, that I love that because sometimes, in life you have to make declarations for the things you want. Now, it may take a while for what you want to come to fruition, like it did with Coach Drew. From then it would be less than 18 years before they even won a men's basketball championship. But if you hold on to your convictions and you keep working hard, then everything that declaration that you made will come to fruition, and everything, and you'll be great with your life. Sometimes it can be so easy to make a declaration and then not see anything happen for a while. But I have known and heard of so many people who have made declarations, and then they've held on, and they've held strong with their convictions, and they made it. So if you make a declaration, hold on to it. Alright, I'm Victor Nunley on a comic here. I'll see you next week for episode 353. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and sick 'em Bears. Go Stanford!